My great-grandparents came out in 1917 and homesteaded, and my granddad, Harold, was 10 years old at the time, and they came out from Missouri. He'd always wanted to be a Wyoming cowboy. And so they came out in 1917 and homesteaded and built it up from there. And he and my dad worked together for a lot of years and added land. And then when my granddad passed away in 1998, we were fortunate to be able to buy his part of the ranch, the part that he owned. And my husband went to work at the coal mine for 15 years to help pay for it, and so that's kind of where it started and kind of where it's at now.
We basically have commercial red Angus cows and calves, and then we started the last few years raising purebred red Angus bulls out of. We just got started. We decided that we weren't able to run a lot of cows, so the ones that we should run should be the best we could run.
The Mackey Ranch is busy all year long. The early months find them processing their bulls who are ready to be sold to customers in March and April. During this season, they feed their bred cows hay and alfalfa cubes to prepare them for calving season.
They're just like humans in that there has to be a balanced diet for them to be able to have optimum performance. So if you want that cow to be able to have her calf unassisted, breed back in the summer and raise that calf, she's got to be on a good plane of nutrition. And just like humans, you have to have, vitamins, minerals.
After the calves are born, they are branded and sent out to fresh green pastures. And just a little after that, it's time for the cows to be bred again, either naturally by a bull or through artificial insemination, also known as AI. After this, it's haying season on the ranch, where nutritious grass goes through the process of being harvested for the winter months. With fall comes weaning calves off of their mother cows. After weaning, the calves are sold and shipped on cattle trucks. Then the Mackeys settle into their fall work.
All this time we're all watching water, putting out minerals, doing fences all the time, to keep things going.
With winter comes strategic planning to ensure the cattle have the feed and care they need to sustain the snow and cold temperatures.
We try to match up the number of cows per acres of land where the cow can eat grass most of the time, most year round. They can eat grass most of the time. And that is, in this country, around 30 acres per cow. We help the grass, the land as much as we can, and we help the cows as much as we can. We're just basically an arid land here that produces, it's too dry to farm. Not enough rain to farm. And it's too rough to farm. So we have to, the only thing we have on it is grass. So we send the cows out to eat the grass and bring back a calf in the fall that produces a high protein diet after we sell it as fat. If you graze a cow the same pasture, the same every year, in the spring they go out and they'll eat the grass they like, and they leave the grass they don't like. And if you graze that land the same every year, every spring, pretty quick the old grass they don't like takes over, like cheatgrass or Japanese brome or whatever will take over. So you need to graze it 1 year in the spring, and then the next year not graze it in the spring, and let the good grass come back and try to outgrow the bad grass. And so we try to help. They call that rotational grazing, and we do that as much as possible. But we still have to have rain. And then we help the cows by breed a cow that fits the grass best, the country the best. And we also help the cow by putting out minerals.
Technology has come a long way in the Mackeys' lifetime. When Dudley was younger, his family had no electricity on their ranch, and they used an outhouse because they didn't have plumbing to their home. Marilyn recalls the days of needing crews of high school boys to help with loading hay out of the field during haying season, and the dependency most ranches had on a hired man. Now, tractors are able to load the hay, and additional efficiencies require less manual labor in daily operations. Keeping records on a computer, and the ability to use cell phones rather than waving hand signals from ridge to ridge are also technological advances from which the ag industry has benefited. Dudley and Marilyn explained the importance of understanding input costs versus expenses in the ranching business while practicing stewardship throughout the entire process.
It's what they call capitalism. It's you work or you do something to make money so that you can spend it on what you want. And that's basically what a ranch is. We raise cows that raise calves. We want a cow that has a calf every year, has a live calf in the fall that produces then the cow breeds back every year and has a calf every year so that we can make more money. Because a cow that is dry, which means she doesn't have a calf, or a calf that's dead, doesn't make any money. Like I said, we try to help the land as much as we can through not overgrazing, and we try to help the cow as much as we can through feed, nutrition, EPDs, and changing the breeding system. So that's basically what cow business is. It's a business like anything else. The good part about it is that we get to live out in the country, fresh air, with not a lot of people around us, and it's a good life that way. It's hard work, but it's rewarding.
The Mackeys, like many in their area, have been vastly impacted by Wyoming's rich energy industry. Dudley worked at the coal mine for many years to assist in purchasing the ranch, and their ranch was in the middle of the coal bed methane boom. Wyoming has a split estate, meaning a person may own the land, but they may not own the minerals underneath the land. When this is the case, the landowner and the mineral company negotiate a land use agreement so both members benefit. This was the case for the Mackey Ranch.
We got in on that kind of about the time we bought this place. The coal bed methane was first starting, and so we were fortunate to be able to negotiate most of our surface use agreements. We only had a couple that were negotiated prior to us buying. And so we got to deal with the whole issue of them coming in with where are you going to put the roads? Are you going to gravel them? And so our whole process was, in looking at that, was thinking that in the end result the water was going to be the most beneficial to us. So what we did in working with those companies was help where we wanted stock water tanks, where the how the reservoirs worked, and our end result was in how they did the pipelines for the water and the gas, was the thought that at some point down the road when it left, we would still have a usable pipeline and continue to develop a water system that would help the ranch. And for us, the benefits that we saw from coal bed methane, of course, was the income, from the damages. Some of those they pay the big part of it when they're doing it because it tears up your land the most. But then once they've got the initial development done, then they pay an ongoing payment every year for the use of the land. So the income has been beneficial to us. The infrastructure that they put in with the roads and the all-weather roads was a great benefit to us, in that we could go just about anywhere we wanted to go on a graveled road.
Dudley and Marilyn are thankful for the energy industry's impact on their local community.
Now we have Camplex, we have the rec center, we've got a college, we've got 2 high schools, and everybody wants to complain about the people, traffic in Gillette. I've been there when there wasn't any traffic and there was nothing to do, and it's provided coal, oil, gas, methane, and has provided so many jobs for so many people. And our daughter, for one, and our son, the accounting job that she was able to be an accountant in Gillette, and our grandkids live 5 miles down the road. our other grandchildren live right across the road, and their dad, our son, works in the oil field. Yeah, it's been a benefit in that way to not just us, but a lot of people that wouldn't have near what they have because of the taxes that the minerals pay.
The Mackeys have diversified their portfolio, allowing Wyoming tourism to play a role in their ranch, welcoming visitors onto their ranch in order that they would better understand Wyoming agriculture was a highlight of their summers for several years. The entire family is also part of one of Wyoming's elite hunting opportunities at the P-Cross Bar Ranch. The Mackey Ranch is a great example of Wyoming agriculture, Wyoming energy, and Wyoming tourism coming together to help this family in living their dream. Add a dash of passion and a lot of hard work, and it's a sure recipe for Wyoming success.